Good afternoon and welcome back to West Ham Irons United. Make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and of course leave comments. My name is Anton and I'll bring to you the daily show today. Thank you, Russ, though, from My Hammers 11 for passing the torch over, the West Ham torch over to myself to give you more content on YouTube, all related to West Ham. Russ, apologies for last week for not passing on the torch to your show. That's my bad, totally my bad. And of course you can see from the title of the show, David Moyes, this special one, and my word, is he a special one. West Ham are fourth, yes, fourth in the Premier League, and our Champions League dream is still alive. So let's go and see who's in the chat before I get started on today's show. I hope you're all well, though, and keep the comments coming in. George, thank you for joining us, mate. Words and pictures, love it. Celebration, fingers crossed we can hear that Champions League theme. Still late, just taking after you, mate. Peach, hope you're well. Peach is in the house. Happy birthday for last week. Respect to you, mate. Jake from West Ham Unofficial, thank you. Go over and hit the subscribe button at Jake's channel from West Ham Unofficial. If you are here right now, go and do it. West Ham Unofficial. West Ham Unofficial was saying, where Anton is here, don't you fear. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Garino, he shall not be named. Not be named reserves the right to be 1 minute late for every position in the league West Ham United currently reside in. Absolutely, mate. Yep. You're right. Hit the like button, of course. Thank you, Gordon Buchanan. And to think we all laughed when he said, winning is what I do. I guess he does, mate. I guess he does. You're all talking to each other. 3 minutes late, is that a sign, Garino? Hey, you never know. Imagine we could read into the future and when we've got it. Lee, hit the like button. Hi, everyone. Let's have it. Thank you, Cathal. Hope you're well, mate. Infinite. Hello, everybody. Hope you're well, and what a great time to be a West Ham fan, huh? Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Ross, for joining us. James, he's not Messiah. He's a very good manager. Absolutely. Dalek, hope you're well, mate. The cyber leader. Is it true Noble's injured? I don't believe it is. I think you can put two and two together and look at some of the posts that were put out after the game last night. You can actually see that Noble is using his hands and his arms reasonably well. Gary, thank you for joining us, mate. We love the peach. We do. John Hicks, West Ham are magic. Still saying Noble is injured. I'm not too sure. I'm a bit iffy about it, to be honest. I've seen some videos coming out of him using his actual hand that was supposedly injured with, high-fiving the players and fist pumping them. So we'll see. Thank you, John Hicks, for joining us. GP, yes, I know, mate. I know. I'm only joking. I'm not as I'm not full of myself, unlike this man here still. So, yeah, I mean, listen, Cathal, before I continue, Noble should be grand. He will soldier through for the rest of the season. I absolutely believe he will, mate. I'll be shocked if he doesn't. Anyway, let's get started on today's show. David Moyes, this special one. It's been an incredible transformation from the relegation scrap of last season, and credit to that man, David Moyes, for unlocking the potential of all of those West Ham players with the help of some key additions, of course, through the transfer market. What a team spirit the guys have got, which seems to have unearthed a band of brothers, which shows a sense of togetherness at the club. That was something that was demonstrated. I don't know if any of you have seen on social media this week or last week when Pablo Fornals actually got all the T-shirts made and gave them to Lingard and Declan Rice, and, just the lads celebrating after the Tottenham victory last month. And they were just all loving life, all with each other, all together. And it's just really, really, really nice to see. Moyes says his players are not feeling the pressure of chasing the pack. And do you know what? I think us as fans do believe that. I think we are feeling the pressure heavily But when you watch the games, when West Ham are going 3-0 up in 3 consecutive games like we have done, you think to yourself, are we feeling the pressure? Then suddenly things start to change come the second half. But being in and around the dressing room and looking at all the information, social media that the West Ham put out, you can't help but think that being in that dressing room must be a fantastic place to be around. And when you look at all the training, it all looks light-hearted. They all look like they're having a lot of fun, and at times, thankfully, all the players look like they're getting on really well, and that also comes from winning and feeling good about your results. And absolutely, it does. It shines through in the team. And this time last year, we had to win games in order to stay in the Premier League. That alone must be a great feeling and not weigh heavy on the players. I want to just show you an interesting stat related to David Moyes, which I think I've mentioned to you on yesterday's game. David Moyes' 50th game in charge during his second spell, winning 75 points, and only Man City with 16 have won more Premier League matches than West Ham, 10 picking up 32 points from a possible 45 in 2021. Unbelievable from that man. Again, Mr. David Moyes. I'm just going to leave that image up there for you to get it, get your head around it. Moyes has carried on making improvements following on from the first lockdown, of course, into this term, and kept adding to his squad, believing consistency in performance has been the major driving force behind the dramatic turnaround. And it is absolute consistency. And I'm going to bring up some stats of players that have been playing this season and players that are stepping up to the occasion. And what you will see is consistency there. He wants to add in young players, and he's been doing that and create this hungry team. And they've shown the determination to try and stay there for most of the season. Consistency is the key reason why we are where we are. We've picked up some really good results this year. We've had some games where perhaps we've been a bit fortunate, but you need fortunate times, bit of positivity on your side, bit of luck on your side, but you've got to carry a bit of luck, like I said, when you're fighting near the top. And the determination of the players has been at the highest level that we've seen in a long time. Of course, there's no doubts January's arrival of Jesse Lingard has almost single-handedly provided West Ham with a new dimension, with 4 of West Ham's 5 goals from counter-attacks coming after the on-loan Man United forward joined, a number that is only bettered by Leeds across the entire campaign. You just got to keep, it's just constant stat after stat after stat. West Ham's success on the pitch has been reflected in record numbers on the first day of season ticket sales this week, nearly apparently 4 times as much interest in the season tickets during the same time frame ahead of last season. And there's a real buzz in and around London, with West Ham having collected 31 points from our home games so far, like I said earlier on, behind Manchester City. And Moyes is excited to be part of the future growth, acknowledging the importance of maintaining strong home form, especially when our beautiful fans return next season. West Ham's ability, though, to cover ground has been in stark contrast to previous seasons, with Thomas Souček and Declan Rice ranking 1st and 7th, respectively, in the Premier League, top distant runners. But with Rice out with a knee injury, the midfield responsibilities look like they're going to fall upon that man, Mark Noble. But let's have a look at some of Mark Noble's stats from the games that he's played this season. 18 games. He's been involved in 11 wins. I've seen a lot of people saying on social media that he was involved in a lot more losses than he was wins. Not right. 57% tackle success rate, 11 interceptions, 3 clearances, and 47 recoveries. Excuse the spelling mistake in there. But he stepped up to the time, and he's absolutely stepped up to the plate to do it. And this is what this is going to be about. Also, is talking about the squad of players that we've got, albeit it's thin, stepping up to the equation. So with Antonio joining Rice on the stands last weekend, Moyes is relishing the challenge, and instead he has no regrets over the decision not to bring in a striker in January, pointing to the success of Lingard. Of course, let's look at Lingard again for his updated stats. 9 games, 8 goals, 3 assists. Adding to that, 6 shots, 17 on target, 5 block shots, 2 big chances created. I mean, he has taken West Ham to a new dimension, really, hasn't he? Please keep your comments coming in. I will jump through them in a minute. Jared Bowen, there's talk of maybe Mr. David Moyes looking at transforming him maybe into a more forward role, and we're starting to see the best again of Jared Bowen. I mean, maybe it's harsh that people were saying that he was struggling a bit, but he just hadn't scored a few goals. But let's have a look at stats this season: 31 games, 8 goals, 4 assists, and 7 big chances created. What an absolute return from this lad this season. It's unbelievable that he has been involved in so many goals. 12 goals he's been involved in and created 7 big chances. So no wonder people are having a look at and toying with the idea of playing Jared Bowen and Jesse Lingard in the same team together. And, there's an element of trust that you've got to put in Moyes when he looks at the West Ham team and goes, I don't need to bring in another striker. I think he does want to bring another striker in come the summer. However, he has made the decision not to do it this time round, and he's relying heavily on what he's got within the squad. I made a joke yesterday about the match and the Matchday Live during the game, because at one point when he brought other players on off the bench, at one point you weren't too sure what formation West Ham were playing, and you weren't too sure where the players were playing. I think Souček was in the right back position. Ben Johnson was obviously covering in the midfield. And you just get that vibe that you just want 11 players to give to Moyes, and he'll mould his team in and around what he wants. And that is exactly what he is doing. And he says himself, it's his job as a manager, and every team in the league have got injuries. We have to try and find a way of overcoming the loss of players who are clearly important to us. And again, I'm going to show you more stats. Let's look at Pablo Fornals. 3 goals, 3 assists, 59% tackle success rate. I mean, that stat alone for Pablo Fornals when he was brought in as a player and it wasn't even having to be involved in the tackling process is unbelievable. 11 blocked shots from our trickster midfielder, 29 interceptions and 120 recoveries. Again, apologies for any spelling mistakes I've got in there. As you can see, the show was put together very quickly. However, you can see that the team are stepping up and everyone is playing for the West Ham shirt, and it is thanks to that man, David Moyes. Let me talk to you about Thomas Souček. I mean, listen, we don't need to talk about him, but I'm going to bring the stats up. 9 goals, 1 assist, 50 interceptions, 11 block shots, 181 aerial battles won, 283 duels won. Again, sorry for the spelling mistake. 87 clearances. Again, another player stepping up. But then let's go back into the defence. And this is what we're talking about. David Moyes making all the players step up from in the squad. We're going to talk about Craig Dawson first and foremost. 3 goals, 6 clean sheets, 75% tackle success rate, 21 interceptions, 64 clearances. And then obviously Godbona, we'll talk about, who's due to hopefully come back in the next couple of weeks. 2 goals, 23 interceptions, 102 clearances, 99 recoveries. Again, apologies for spelling mistakes. 83 duels won and 48% tackle success. But I'm going to bring up the next player, Issa Diop, player that's been judged quite a lot and quite heavily at West Ham since joining. But I do think he has actually stepped up to the plate and actually turned the season around, and it's showing that we can rely on all the players within our squad. In the 12 games that he's played, he's scored 1 goal. He's been involved in 6 wins. He's got 62% tackle success rate, 18 interceptions, 41 clearances, 42 recoveries, 33 duels won, and 11 aerial battles won. And that is a prime example of a squad that is performing at all levels. I'm going to bring you up one final slide here, which is Declan Rice. Of course, how we're going to miss the main man himself. And of course, West Ham with Declan Rice in their side are much better than a side without Declan Rice. However, West Ham have got that squad, that mentality to be able to turn up and step up and keep turning out results. 7 block shots, 58 interceptions, 34 clearances, 210 recoveries, 132 duels won. Again, apologies from spelling mistakes. 42 aerial battles won, 29 games, 88% pass completion, and 66% tackle completion. And this is where, like we said, players like Mark Noble, who of course made his 400th Premier League appearance for West Ham, can step up to the plate. Fornals, Bowen, the list goes on, and we're not even going into the nitty-gritty. We're not even talking about Benrahma yet. We're not even talking about other players that are there that can come in and step into the position. I get it, our squad is thin, but the rest of the games coming up, we have got 7 more cup finals to come. Newcastle up next. What can that boy David Moyes do? Is David Moyes the special one? Is he the special one? What could have happened if he had stuck around first time round? If we hadn't got rid of him first time round and went through this whole Pellegrini journey, spending a fortune? I wonder, and only you can wonder. Keep your comments coming in, and we'll go through, see what everyone's saying. I'm assuming I'll get picked up on my spelling mistakes, which I do apologise for. Where are we? Let's see. Mike D. Fridgie suggested Moyes succeeded him for a reason. We're now seeing and benefiting from what Moyes would have been building at Man United. And that's true. A lot of people have, I think Moyes has actually got a really good percentage win rate and stats for Man United were quite good, but just obviously they jumped ship very quickly, and it shows you that they do, teams panic and don't give manager time to turn things around, and he's definitely around for that. Kent is Creswell out for a month or so. Anton, I'm not going to give you any information on that. I'm going to just Kent, and it's only down to the fact that Stell's got a show tonight that he's doing and digging in deep, getting as much information on injuries. So please keep an eye on Stell's West Ham Weekly this evening. I think, Stell, if you want to put in the chat what time you'll be going on live at, like the Chuckle Brothers, yeah. Well, listen, Stell's like the Chuckle Brothers himself, to be honest. He is the special one. Screw the negative press. Come on, you irons. That's from Stuart. Yes, absolutely. Biggest hero of yesterday, Declan Rice's reaction to the game and being there, hammer for life. James, it was amazing to watch. It really was. It gave us as fans that lift we needed to see. We need to see that a lot more. But that's the whole dynamics of the West Ham squad. The squad is just, this togetherness is just absolutely amazing to see, and it gives me honestly, I get goosebumps when I think about it every single week when we do all these shows. It's goosebump times, and what a fantastic season, and fair play. I mean, David Moyes, he's totally 100% changed my opinion on football coaching, on football management, and on West Ham. Everything I've ever said in the past, I take back. Let's see what everyone else is saying. George Mayer, I think the root cause of the success is the Czech boys. Their hard work reflects everyone. George, I completely agree with you, mate. But I've got to say that I think that every player has stepped up when asked this season. Everyone has. And I fully expect West Ham fans to start to get into the nitty-gritty and pick faults with some of the players. Like some people are trying to pick up with Issa Diop. But, for a player that's only played 12 games, you've got to look at these particular stats, and you can't remotely fault them. 62% tackle success rate, 18 interceptions, 41 clearances, 42 recoveries, 33 duels won, and 11 aerial battles won. I mean, it's fantastic to see that happen. Of course, let me just jump back into the chat and see what everyone else is saying. Lee Vassallo, let's just take a moment to laugh at Spurs. We don't want Kane, only the players Moyes wants. And that's another thing about what Moyes has done in terms of changing the opinion on the West Ham fan base. You don't need to go and sign 70, 80, 90, 100 million pound players. You just need to sign players that fit the mould. And that's where David Moyes is changing my opinion on a lot of things as well. GP, thanks. We try to make the ratings good. Yeah, really good shout. Jake will be back tomorrow with Matt for another rating show, so please check that. It's actually 7 p.m. I made a mistake last week. It's not 7:30 p.m. It's 7 p.m. Mike D, let's all give a thumbs up to this channel as Anton Stell and others put a great deal into bringing us up-to-date and exciting news, not to say a bloody good laugh. Mike D, it really is, mate. It really is. It's a good laugh. I feel like we're not laughing with Stell, we're laughing at Stell, and I definitely join you in that, Mike. Absolutely, mate. Garino, like the way the Spurs fans are coming out of the woodwork saying we're bottling it. Got to love the irony. Amazing stats. Yep, absolutely. West Ham official Anton the stat man. That's not me. That is Matt Stato. It'd be great if Matt could do a show during the day. Unfortunately, he works during the day, so he won't be able to. So we'll just keep him for the evening stuff. Garino, not that long ago, Moyes was the worst manager in West Ham history. Now he must be one of the best. It's a good point. It'd be actually interesting to see where he ranks. That's a good one for you, Stel. If you're watching for your West Ham Weekly tonight, Irish Tommy, Lingard, hope you're well, mate. Lingard's best ever full season return for United is 8 goals. He has that in 9 games for us. Incredible form. It really is, mate. And that's why we said at the start, like, he's brought West Ham to a new dimension. WHU58, this West Ham team togetherness reminds me of when Leicester won the title in 2015. Could this be us for the next few years? This is the time. This is the time for West Ham to progress. We've made a stride forward. And it's how now we manage to maintain that stride forward and push on from that. And for me, that's why you've got to look at a player like Lingard and you've got to make sure you bring him in kind of within reason, no matter what the cost, and then build in and around that and go and get other players in and around it. But it's fantastic to see. Gary Page is saying I would sooner use youth defenders than Balbuena. I think next season is going to be a big season for Alessi Baptista. I absolutely do. I think for this season, we just need to maybe maintain with what we've got with the squad. We need to actually drip feed Balbuena back in. And what we're going to do is drip feed Ogbonna back in. And then we've got 4 centre-halves that can step up to the plate when we probably need them most. 7 games to go, 7 cup finals. We're going to need everybody firing on all cylinders. David, hi, Ant. I've just recovered from yesterday. Laugh out loud. Same, mate. I honestly, I think my wife had to scrape me off the ceiling. And the last 6 minutes, I felt like I'd ran a marathon. I genuinely felt like I ran a marathon. I couldn't cope with the last 6 minutes. Just absolutely mental it was. Infinite thumbs up. Thanks, Still, Anton, and rest of your work. Thank you, mate. Thank you for the kind words. Victor Fenn, Moyes has done a great job, but I think his backroom staff have had a lot to do with this as well, and he does credit them a lot. And I think we said on the Matchday Live, actually, I think Still will back this up. He absolutely credits them. But if you think back to when was the turning point for West Ham, I actually think the game last season, do you remember we were playing Man City and the game got cancelled because of the high winds? Then we played them again. It was like we handed them the 3 points. Then we brought in Kevin Nolan and we played Arsenal and Liverpool next, or was it Liverpool then Arsenal? And West Ham turned up, but we didn't win those games. And it's ever since those particular games is when things have started to turn around. And I've done a video a while ago on Kevin Nolan and the impact he's made at the club. It's not just down to him. It's got to be Stuart Pearce for what he's doing in the defensive area. It's got to be all of them because they're obviously all working as a team, firing on all cylinders. Infinite. Could be, I don't know what that was about. Sorry, James Farmer. As much as King Arthur became the scapegoat yesterday, I feel it was knowing Cress wasn't behind him and probably says more about Balbuena and Mas. Do you know what? Apart from maybe the one time that Masuaku gave the ball away, maybe there was 2 occasions he gave the ball away. I actually thought he had a decent game. I certainly didn't. I can't put the scapegoat on him at all. I mean, if equally you could start to, this is where you get into the nitty gritty and you can pass the blame as much as you possibly can. You could look at Fabianski for when the ball was shot. I mean, I don't know if Fabianski thought the ball was going out because he kind of seemed to pull his hand away. But, I mean, I don't want to get into nitty-gritty. It's not really a negative show. It's a positive show. What's this here? Infinite. Victor, I agree. Nolan, Psycho. They all made an impact to our improvement. They absolutely have, mate. Absolutely have. Still saying Bowen is colossal player and underrated. Absolutely, I think he is, mate. I think he's phenomenal. From what we got to see of him last season and when we were in the stadium, and now seeing him outside of that, I think he really is underrated, and I think he reacts really well with players like Lingard. It's funny how you bring these players in and how players start to play even better than what they were. I think Bowen was fine even before Lingard came in, but Lingard's just given everyone this new lease of life and allowed players to just get forward and do it. Peach is agreeing with you there still. James, Masuaku was tired by then, and I think we should have had Johnson on by then. It's a good point. Absolutely, mate. Infinite Winston, Pablo the Fornicator. I just can't get my head around this guy. I'm starting to actually fall in love with Pablo Fornals. He's slowly and surely becoming one of my favourite players. The little dynamic midfielder. He's just solid. He was brought in to be the complete opposite to what he is, but he gives what he was brought in and more, and shed loads more. And for anyone that's just joining us late, I'm going to show you what he brings in more. And this is probably the most exciting thing for getting the goals and assists. 59% tackle success rate, 11 block shots, 29 interceptions, and 120 recoveries from Pablo Fornals, our trickster, our player that's supposed to be creating, as well as, this is what David Moyes is doing, is bringing it out and all the players. We start at such a high tempo to shock teams, need better sub management at the moment. I get that point, and I think David Moyes is going to have to be working so hard on what we do to try and maintain a lead or go out and score more goals, and why we start to concede later on. But the best season since '86, and I'm proud of this group of players. James, you have nail on the head there, mate. I am so proud of it. I like to see Fornals partner Souček in that middle. I mean, got to look at the stats, and it could be an option if needed. And that's the thing. We've got players that can. It's all about David Moyes just going, give me the player with the right attitude. I'll create and make them whatever I want them to do. I know I'm jesting a lot, but it's kind of got a little bit of truth about it. Patrick Walsh, Masuaku has happy feet and give the ball away too easily. Real annoying. James Farmer, biggest disappointment yesterday, other than holding 3-goal lead. Again, Coventry not getting on the pitch. I don't think we'll see a lot of him, to be honest. I don't think we'll see a lot of him. Odebiku's probably got the highest chance of getting game time, because depending on our forward injuries, if the players maintain, etc. But even if Noble does pick up an injury, I still don't think we'll see Connor Coventry. So I think David Moyes is just going to keep him in and around the squad to give him a good chance potentially for next year. Mr. Liverpool, 7 games left, 8 points clear of 8th place Everton, but they have 2 games in hand, and if they lose tonight, you have to get Europa at least. Yeah, absolutely, mate. But I think every West Ham fan wants the Champions League, don't they? James Sawyer, it's been long, 25 years. Mike D, Lingard, Bowen partnership up front is fantastic. We're deadly as a team going forward. I can't believe I'm saying this about West Ham, not since '86. I tell you what, Mike D, I'll make a little point for you. Actually, I was talking to my dad last night. Anyone who does watch the channel, sometimes my dad Jim's come on. He's been very fortunate West Ham fan. He's seen us win 3 FA Cup finals, European Cup winners, Cup winners, and the World Cup. He's been there live at every single one of those occasions. Now, he said to me last night, if we were to qualify for the Champions League, if you are to compare, he said, obviously during his time, Europa Cup, the European Cup Winners' Cup, wasn't the highest level of competition back then. However, it's a massive feat to go and win that competition. Of course it is. It's huge. He said, but getting to the Champions League is such a massive feat, something that's really not been seen before. So he was making comparisons. I'm not saying he was saying it was better, because my reaction to him was, yeah, but Dad, you seen the West Ham win a European Cup? He said, absolutely, you're totally right, 100%. But could you imagine that West Ham line up in a group stage against Barcelona or the likes of AC Milan or the likes of all the top dogs, televised? What does that do to a club like West Ham, a London team? And it's really, really interesting. But yeah, it's exciting times. I just want us to be able to get it. It's not that disappointment. Oh God, this is gone. My thing's just jumped. Where is it here? Where is it here? Where is it? Oh, there's so many comments. It's jumped, and I'm trying to go back up and see where we are. I'm just going to pick some point to say where I can start from and see. Still, we'll be going out around 8 p.m. tonight, so Jake can watch the show before he goes to bed. Words and pictures. Thin squad means the second players do know they'll get their chance on the pitch, keeps them sharp and happy. It's a great point. WMP, absolutely fantastic point, actually. I completely agree with you on that. Infinite, Sullivan must not get involved in bringing players in, should be banned from doing that. Completely agree. West Ham official Pepsi, I'm recording a show at 7, so perfect. Good man. Irish Tommy, imagine how exciting it would be if we sit down to watch the Champions League group stage draw and West Ham are in it. I just, mate, I got goosebumps there. I'm getting goosebumps, and probably everyone is as well. But I just want us to get it. 7 cup finals. To finish the Champions League place, this will be the club's greatest achievement. Cup wins can be fluked. The league table does not lie. And that's the point I was making there about, my dad making a comparable comment on winning the European Cup Winners' Cup. When I was coaching, I read a book on scouting with a lot of time devoted to Moyes and his methods. We're in good hands, James. Yeah, absolutely, mate. And something interesting to do is you can actually go on YouTube and find quite a lot of David Moyes' coaching sessions with a lot of younger players, and his mindset on the press. He's always about the press. And that's why I think when you find players like Arnautovic, you find players like Antonio, and you find players like Lingard, you'll see, if you look at David Moyes' coaching ability, coming away from a professional game and taking a group of younger kids, maybe they're young pros, but the mindset that he drives into those players is when the ball's released from the keeper, you press, and he's got a system for how they press as well. It's totally worthwhile watching. In actual fact, over the next couple of weeks, when I do a couple more videos, I'll make sure I put a link in there and get that in for you. Still, Mr. Liverpool, European football would be a bonus. None of us expects, but now with just 7 days to go, what a dream. The income alone would help strengthen the squad, even if we do rubbish. Infinite Irish Tommy to be paired with Real, Inter, Bayern. It's unreal. Let's just hope we do. I don't even know what he's talking about. Mr. Liverpool, it'd be disappointing if you don't get any type of European football considering where you are. It would be, mate, but let's just keep going what we're doing. Dean, why is no one taking a punt on Jose Martinez like Vardy? I'd love to see him at the Hammers. I think we'll see some movement, obviously, come in the summer, and it'll be interesting to do it. And of course, Peach, good shout, good reminder. Today would have been Bobby Moore's 80th birthday today, so happy birthday to Sir Bobby Moore. Of course, it should be Sir Bobby Moore. Garino, if we do get Champions League football, I still wouldn't trust the board to invest increased monies in the squad. Fully expect drip-fed excuses about the wage bill and COVID. And to be honest with you, Garino, if we do get the Champions League football, they have no choice in the matter. They've got David Moyes at the helm, and he is not going to let them get away with murder. However, David Moyes is showing signs of not having to spend big in order to get it. As long as he brings in, if Moyes gets full control and brings in 4 players to a total value of 50 million quid, I'm happy with that. I don't want to be going spending £200 million on 6 players because that's what we think it is. It's not. That's not the way it is. Charlie Everett, you're going to have to buy some new players because in the past, new teams like West Ham have made it into Europe, but have not got the squad capable to compete in Europe and Premier League. And you're right, mate. And I go back to the season when we brought in the likes of Gokantur and Faguli. It just didn't work for us because we were just buying bodies to fit the scenario. And this is why hopefully David Moyes is moving us. Ben, thank you for joining us. You've just subscribed. I'm assuming that's what you mean. Let's see. There's loads here. Irish Tommy, we've only lost 8 games all season. That's credible form given that we've lost our first 2. Irish Tommy, you're again another nail on the head, mate. When you think about seasons gone by with West Ham, and at some point you look in the season, and if you see West Ham at the league and it said West Ham won 12, drew 4, lost 12, whatever games we won was the amount of games that we lost. Usually is what you found, and this season's definitely different. Ian Wiley, loving where we are currently. Lingard's superb, but is anyone worried he's doing so well that other big clubs might come in from at the end of the season? Really hope we get him. I don't doubt for a second other big clubs will come in for him, mate. It's just whether or not West Ham, if he wants to stay at West Ham, then West Ham will get the deal done no matter what the price is. So many comments. I'm going to have to jump down because it's supposed to be a short show and they just never end up being like that. Gary Page, Moyes could move on if they don't play ball, which they could do, and don't want success. It won't. I get it, but I just don't know if it will happen. Anton, will Stato and Jakey be doing a player rating show? They will, Toby, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. That will be Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Only blanked in 4 games this season as well. Brilliant stat. Absolutely, mate. It really is, Kent. Thank you very much for that. Tomorrow night, Jake is coming in. So listen, that really rounds up our West Ham Daily. Is David Moyes the new special one? Is he the only special one? What a fantastic manager and what a man. And my opinion has dramatically changed on him. It's been changed for such a long time. Trust in Moyes is what we do. So thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure there's a little bell notification as well. If you click that little bell notification, you will get notified when our shows come out. Tonight, 8 o'clock, Stell's doing his West Ham Weekly. Make sure you tune in. There'll be lots of chat and lots more information on all of the potential injuries and all that sort of stuff. So make sure you know what West Ham Weekly is about. So make sure you tune into that. And then tomorrow night, tomorrow during the day, we'll have another West Ham Daily. Tomorrow night, followed by a rating show by Jake and Matt. Anyway, I've been Anton. This is West Ham Irons United. Subscribe, like, comment. Come on, you Irons. Thank you very much for